Hello, my friends, and welcome to Cathy Chat. You know how much I love to chat with my friends, and many of them I have met in the Happy Neighborhood Project. And this time, drum roll please, you have the opportunity to meet the one, the only. We affectionately call her Diva. Her name is Denise Vargas. How are you, superstar?
Oh my gosh, I am so happy to be on Cathy Chat. You know, I love chatting with you, and this is going to be so much fun.
Absolutely. And I mean that with all my heart. I am so honored when you said yes. And I interviewing and chatting with my friends is one of my favorite things, promoting businesses and certainly books. And I know you've got an incredible artificial intelligence system. We have so much to talk about. I don't know how we're going to cram it in 6 hours. I'm kidding for everybody listening. It's really 15 or 20 minutes, but I know that there's so much to talk about with Diva, and I didn't want any of you to miss one possible second of getting to know this superstar. So, my friend, get us started. How did Live Creatively Inc. start?
So, for those that don't know, I do have a disability, and all my life I've been living creatively. And what does that mean? It means that before there was all these automatic door openers and push a button and your door would open, I would get creative. Okay, I can't quite reach it, so I used to knit a lot back then, or crochet, and so I crocheted this really long yarn. I'm like, well, that's what I'm going to use to open the door. I'm like, oh, I can use it here. I can use. So then I just got creative and started crocheting a bunch of different stuff. And then I was like, well, I need this to do this. I need that to do that. How can I do it? You know, what's out there? Like, well, do I really want to spend money on something that's out there? Or do I want to get creative and invent my own? And so that's what I do. And my life, like I said, I've been being creative with everything I do. Um, what you would do in one way, I have to tweak it to work a different way for me. And so I said, well, we're going to start a business. That's what it's going to name. And we're going to name it Live Creatively because I live creatively and I want the world to learn to live creatively.
Absolutely. And you're a great example of that because I have never one time at all in the 2 years that we've known each other, I have never heard you say, I can't do that. Not once. Because all of a sudden you're like, I'm going to figure this out. And you have. And I just think I've never heard you say, I can't do that.
Nope. I will always try and find a way.
Now, I know that you're very good on Canva, and I have seen so many of your creations. And how did the Canva piece of your life start? Like, I understand the creative genius of your company, but how did you incorporate Canva into your social media posting?
So, before Canva came about, I would use other platforms. And what others would do in other platforms, that it would take hours, I said, no, I got to figure out a different way. It's got to be easier. It's got to be fun. And so I would end up doing a different program. Um, would still take a little longer. When Canva came out, oh my gosh, it was like a whole new world opened up. It's so much fun and it's so easy. You know, I wish that a lot of people who are afraid to use Canva would just really realize that, first of all, there are templates. I've even created templates for other people to be able to use. Uh, it's super easy. It's super fun. And it opens up your creativity.
Well, it definitely has for you because, as I said, I stalk you. You probably know that. But every time you do a post on social media, I'm like, oh my gosh, how did she do that? Not only is it loaded, hyper loaded with content, but then the graphics that you use are just like, oh my goodness. And so I really do applaud you. Your creativity is phenomenal, and Live Creatively Inc. is the coolest name ever, honestly.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
oh my goodness. And so, speaking of Live Creatively, I want to show something. And I want you to tell us how Make Dreams Happen was actually born.
Well, I love to journal. and I love to set my goals. And one of the things that I've noticed when I was buying all these beautiful notebooks, and many of them were just so beautiful, journals, the covers were beautiful. But what was always missing was, oh, this one has this one has that. Oh, I also like the color because I think it's very therapeutic. And I'm like, well, now I'm buying like 4 or 5 different books, and I wish everything was all together. And so I said, huh, I'm just gonna make my own. And sure enough, I made it in Canva. So I made my own, and it was originally just for me. And as I was using it and creating it, actually, first, before I started using it, I was like, huh, I wonder if anybody else out there is like me and wish that everything was in one book, kind of like a workbook, right? So it's a book that you can really work on yourself and make your dreams happen.
Well, and I appreciate that because, first of all, I own this copy, of course, and it's hardback. So, for those of you watching, it's on Amazon, and we're certainly going to put the link in the comments. But it's a hardback book, so this is like for real. And when you go through the book, which of course I do, like the pages are getting tattered, there's a spot for journaling, and that's the part that I love because you can actually date the journal entry. And so now when you go back to read what you wrote, you'll actually be able to say, huh, on that particular date, this is where my brain went. And now I this, and you can see the difference. And I love when you've got the quotes on some of your chapter pages. Journaling is paying attention to the inside for the purpose of living well from the inside out. And that's a quote by Lee Wise. And you add such gorgeous pictures to each of these pages and top 10 things to achieve by the end of the year. And as I said, when you go back to visit what you've written, like when I look back on some of this, I go, huh. And I appreciate the fact that the date is the putting the date on each entry is a reminder to put the date, because then we can kind of look back and see how far we've come.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's amazing how a lot of other journals, if you don't remember to put the date on it, you're like, oh my gosh, when did I write that? I can't believe I was thinking that. When was that part of my life?
Yes.
So you write down the memory or the thing that you're working through, but you didn't write down the date.
Yep. That's why I say I think you've thought of everything. And the fact that it's hardback, for me, it's kind of like it's a treasure. I mean, it's a keepsake. And I love that part very much. I'm noticing on the banner that is going below us on this post that you have a web address, and that's how we can actually connect with you. So for those of you listening on Spotify, the answer is bit.ly/ live creatively diva, DEVA. And that's how you're able to actually connect with this superstar genius. So I have to know what the artificial intelligence piece of your life has done for you, because you have done a complete accelerated business model times a million using AI. How did that start?
You know, a lot of people are weary of AI.
Uh-huh.
And I say embrace it full on because it will make your life so much more easier and fun. And we all know that we're not having fun in life with our business and our whole world, right? We're just, if we're not enjoying ourselves, we just won't do it. We'll say we'll do it later, we'll get to it. And if you never get to it, you're never going to grow, either personally or professionally. So with my AI, actually it's Diva AI, and I'll tell you about Diva in a moment. But Diva AI has helped me with being consistent on social media.
Okay.
It helped me with my website. It's helped me with all marketing. But again, that consistency is what's going to really get you known. And and I tell everyone you are worth following. Matter of fact, my post today is going to be about that, being consistent and knowing that you are worth following.
And the messages that you put out, are you mostly on Facebook or LinkedIn?
I am on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram.
Oh gosh. Okay. And so do you post the same things on each of the three platforms?
Well, it's the same image. However, because each platform is a little differently, like the audience is a little different,
Hmm.
my AI will tweak it so that it is speaking to that audience from that platform.
And literally you don't have to do anything. You write the original content and the AI does the rest.
Yep. Well, so what I do is I train my AI. So my AI now speaks like me, thinks like me, acts completely like me, and I just give it like a one or two sentences of what I want it to do, and then it just does it in a matter of seconds. So it's like really having your own personal assistant right there with you.
Yeah, it does it in a matter of seconds. I'm instantly thinking just the talked about would take me how long to alter each post per platform because of that different specific audience. And this thing does it in seconds. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that really is. You mentioned a minute ago that you were going to talk to us about Diva. How did Diva come to be?
Well, Diva, it's well DEVA for Denise Vargas. It's the first two letters of my initials, my first name and my last name. But my friends all through high school, they were calling me Diva, and I said, well, I don't want people to think I'm a diva, DIVA, even though we all should be a little bit of diva sometimes. It's fun. But I said, okay, what do I believe in? What do I do that would embody that? And I love acronyms. So I said, well, I dream every day, I visualize always, and I want others to do the same. So I tell people, you know what? Diva until you get what you want. And at the end of the day, well, DEVA, Denise Vargas, I guess I was born to be a diva.
Well, and honestly, again, for the 2 years that we've gotten to know each other, I don't think I call you anything else. It's very hard for me to think back to say Denise when we very first met, but Diva is just who you are now. That's just what I call you. And dream every day and visualize always. That is a perfect acronym because you live it. You seriously live it. I wanted to talk a little bit about. I know that you wear so many hats, and again, I appreciate you being with us today. And for those of you on the call that don't know Denise Vargas yet, you can meet her all over social media, and certainly at the link that's scrolling at the bottom of this feed, and it's bit.ly/live creatively diva DEVA, and you can actually connect with Denise. See, I can't even say your name, Denise, because I do the diva thing. But I think back to when we first met, and we met through the Happy Neighborhood Project. How did you find HNP initially? How did that work?
Well, when when COVID hit
Uh-huh.
and changed the networking world,
Yes.
I was like, well, where am I going to go network? I was not really a big LinkedIn fan at that time, but because I also know that every platform has its audience, I said, well, if I want to grow my business in this end, let me go onto LinkedIn. Let me see what's going on there. Maybe there's something that I can find a group or something that networks online. And so I love circles. And when I saw this little circle with the words happy neighborhood on it, and happiness is in my DNA, and purple is my second favorite color. So I was like, all right, purple, circles, happy. Let me click on it and see what it's all about. And so I did that. I went to one of the very first meetings. Believe it or not, was the International Day of Happiness, and it was on Zoom, and I met all these phenomenal people. But when I met Edwin Adebury, the Chief Happiness Officer, the creator of all of this, I fell in love with his mission. He is such a sweetheart, and what he created for us, and being able to meet with everyone all over the world, other happy people, that just it made my world.
I did not know about you found the circles, you found the happy. What's your first favorite color? I didn't know that purple was your second.
Red.
Okay. And so, yes, I can definitely see that with a lot of the different entries that you made in your book. Actually, they are vibrant. And so, the circle, the happy, and the networking piece. And from what I understood back then, HNP was also still free even back then. Is that true?
It is still free. We have over 50 events every week. Um, I host 4 of them. So if you want to come and hang out with me, we have on Wednesdays we have H&P Rocks Tonight. Thursdays we have Movie Lovers. We also have Girls Night, second Thursday of every month, and then also on Thursdays we have Book Lovers. So there's a lot of loving going on in H&P.
There definitely is. Now, you mentioned a second ago about being a captain. How did you go from finding it for International Day of Happiness in 2020 to attending the events to now you are one of the hosts of these calls? How did that transition happen?
So like I said, I loved it. I then very quickly became what they call a verified happy business.
Okay.
So that's where, when you believe in the mission, you want to support it. So I became a paid member,
Mhm.
and I loved it so much. I kept going to the meetings. I then became a co-host for New York. And after that, I said, wow, this would be great if we had this event. It would be great if we had that event. And Edwin's so great. You tell him about an event. And he said, yeah. And then I started becoming a captain for those events that we've created. And ever since then, we just keep growing and having new events and bring on new co-hosts. And so it's a whole lot of fun.
As I mentioned before, Diva, I know that you wear lots of hats and you've got lots of plates spinning with your Live Creatively Incorporated business. But I also happen to know that you serve on the board of directors for the Happy Co-op. How did the Happy Co-op come to be, for heaven's sakes?
Again, Edwin wanted to bring people together. He wanted to be able to give back to those that support the happy neighborhood. And, being able to serve on the board and creating new things for our members and growing and getting discounts for them and just so many things that we do to help each other out. I was just really honored to be asked to be on the board.
Absolutely. And friends, we're going to put the links in the chats and the comment sections of the different platforms where you'll see this recording. But the biggest thing is to have the Happy Co-op born on July 6th of 2021. And now we are almost 4,500 members strong as of this recording. It's incredible to think of all the connections that we've been able to meet, Diva, in these couple of years. It really is phenomenal. How has your network grown in this amount of time?
Oh my gosh. When I first started, again, I'll go to LinkedIn for a moment. I only had like maybe 100 and 30 some odd people following me at that point.
Wow.
Now I have over 1,500 people.
Wow,
So it has
wow, wow.
grown tremendously, yes.
That is
And
phenomenal.
it's all over the world. It's not just people in the US. It's not just people in New York that know me. It's like I am now, you can honestly say that through the help of HMP, I am internationally known.
Isn't that the coolest thing? International diva. I see a new branding coming on there, my friend, which is pretty fun for a lot of us anyway. I love that part. And very seriously, with all of the plates that you do have spinning with your company and your coaching business, what what would you like to share with our listeners today that we haven't talked about yet?
Well, with my coaching, I like to call myself a lifestyle strategist. And it's because I really help people live the lifestyle that they want. Now, the word lifestyle, a lot of times when people think about it, they think, oh, you want to be rich and you want to be this and you want to be. Lifestyle just simply means what do you want in your life? Do you want more happiness? Do you want more confidence? What is it that you want to live that lifestyle that you've always dreamed of. And hey, maybe it is money. Well, what do you need to do to get that money? So that's why I differ in that sense, that I like to call myself a lifestyle strategist, because I will strategize with you and help you get to where you want to get to.
Lifestyle strategist. Again, Diva's book is Make Dreams Happen by Denise Vargas. On the back, because yes, as I mentioned before, I do stalk you. On the back is your gorgeous picture, and it says Denise Vargas and lifestyle strategist, entrepreneur, and author. And I'm just telling you, my friend, it is an honor not only to know you and get to see you often in the happy neighborhood, but to see that your mission of impacting the world is seriously happening. And with people buying your book all over Amazon and having a hard copy that they can actually keep forever is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And I'm thrilled beyond measure to have this book. And I mean that with all my heart. It's fantastic. I love the fact that you found that a lot of different journals and different things that people would write, and even diaries, only had a little piece of this and a little piece of that. You brought the whole thing together. I love that.
Thank you. Yeah. Like I said, I did it for me. And then after I really took a good look at it, I'm like, I wish I had all of this when I was searching. And I said, well, you know what? Let me put it up there on Amazon and see if people like it. And people have been liking it quite nicely. So thank you for all those that have bought it. Thank you for all those that might want to buy it. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And we will put the links in the comment sections of this recording, I promise, because we're thrilled to have you watch and listen on Cathy Chat. Diva, before we say goodbye to our friends, is there one last parting thought that you would like to share for everyone to remember and take away from our Cathy Chat today?
Well, Diva, until you get what you want. And other than that, stay happy, stay positive, and always live creatively.
Such a beautiful message for each and every one of us. Friends, thank you again for joining us today on Cathy Chat. You had the pleasure, as I do often, to be able to meet with Diva, our very own Denise Vargas, and to learn how Live Creatively Inc. actually came to be. So be sure and connect with her. Again, the address is bit.ly/Live Creatively Diva, DEVA, and you can have all kinds of connections, opportunities with this incredible superstar. Denise, I honestly thank you 1,000,000% for saying yes to Cathy Chat.
Oh, thank you. It was my pleasure, my honor. And I had so much fun.
I love that part. Stay happy and always remember to live creatively. That's a great message. Thank you, my friends. We'll see you soon on the very next Cathy Chat. Bye for now.